Based on his investigation, based on everything he has provided to me, I've made the decision to charge Christopher Schurr with 1 count of second-degree murder. Second-degree murder is a felony offense. It is punishable by up to life in prison with the possibility of parole. As it stands now, this is merely an allegation, and as with any defendant, he is presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law. The elements of second-degree murder are relatively simple. First, there was a death done by the defendant, and then when the killing occurred, the defendant had one of these 3 states of mind: an intent to kill, an intent to do great bodily harm, or the intent to do an act that the natural tendency of that act would be to cause death or great bodily harm. And finally, that the death was not justified or excused, for example, by self-defense. Taking a look at everything that I reviewed in this case, I believe there's a sufficient basis to proceed on a single count of second-degree murder, and that charge has been filed with the courts as of today. Obviously, we considered, we looked at everything, and so manslaughter will be a lesser included offense. The difference in manslaughter is a heat of passion. There's some sort of provocation with heat of passion, so that is something we took a look at. I felt based on the evidence I reviewed, I think a second-degree murder charge is appropriate, but that is generally a lesser included instruction should it get to a jury. I don't think so. I'm never big on sending messages with charges. I think most police officers realize that it could happen. I know there's been a lot of coverage of my prior decisions, and I look at every decision and try and take every decision as the facts of the case, and I stand by all the decisions I made in the past, and I'll obviously stand by this one. So I'm not thinking that Kent County officers or even any police officers in general thought they had a license to go out and do something like this. I think this is not a message. This is just based on the facts. I'm making a decision in this case.
What do you think the reaction is going to be from people out there on the streets hearing this news?
I think it's going to be, I think it's split, to be honest with you. I mean, I think there's been this, I think the general consensus is I think there's a huge amount of community pressure that thinks I should charge, and if I don't charge, something's going to happen. But I mean, literally just before I came over here, I got an email from somebody saying, I don't think you should charge. So there's a lot of people that think that this should not be charged. And so I'm very mindful of that. I hope the public reflects the care and concern I took. This was not a quick or a decision I took lightly. And so we'll see how the public reacts.
But what message do you feel like this sends to the community?
I hope it sends that we take these cases seriously. I mean, I think, and I go out and speak, it's nothing different than I said before in public, is that everybody thinks, the prosecutors are essentially an arm or just a branch of the police. And we're not. We are our own entity. We have a duty to enforce the law, be it on police or the public. And there's very often, we disagree on cases, we disagree on things that happen. We're a separate entity, and our duty is public safety. We work a lot with them, but we don't work for them. And I think law enforcement in Kent County understands that, we understand that, and so that's, hopefully the public takes that and understands that, and maybe dissuades, some of the stereotypes that we've been seeing over the past couple months.